Hello, welcome back to Morrison Heights Family Connect. Let's see how this one's going to go. We got Melanie Lenow here to talk about the Advent boxes. And so this is going to be kind of a combination of Bob Ross and QVC and one of those unboxing videos on YouTube. So most of you know, we launched our Christmas devotion guides and our Advent family boxes this last week at church. And so I just wanted people to see what's inside of them and to know how to use the devotion guides and the Advent boxes. And since Melanie was the person who came up with most of the ideas and implemented most of the assembly for the boxes, she's the one to have on. Now, you got a busy week because you're about to go on a women's ministry trip too.
Yes, the lead team. We're going up to Nashville. And it's the Lifeway Women's Forum that is designed to help train women's ministry leaders and teams of the church and things like that. So we can go listen to different speakers like Jen Wilkin and Jennifer Rothschild and writers like that, just to grow ourselves spiritually, but also learn a lot of things to bring back to the ladies here. So we're excited about that.
Hope that goes well. And I hope you don't get pain on you during this podcast episode.
That's all right.
I'll start by telling about the devotion guides. Let Earth Receive Her King is the Advent devotion guide. It's written by 35 writers from Morrison Heights. And it is designed to be one devotional a day for 5 weeks. So the 5 weeks begin November 27th, which is a Sunday. Mm-hmm. So if you got one of these books this last week, you want to wait until November 27th to start reading it probably. So the 5 weeks will go through Christmas and conclude, I believe January 31st is the last reading. So you say, why is our...
December 31st.
Yeah, December 31st. Thanks, Tom. Somebody's paying attention to the dates here. So why are we going past Christmas with our Advent guide? Because Advent, traditionally in Christian churches, refers not only to the coming of Christ, but also to the second coming of Christ. And all of the devotions after Christmas Day are focused on passages about the second coming of Christ. Mm-hmm. So we're really excited about this because a lot of people in church did a great job of writing devotions. Tom did a great job designing it. Very, very good design job there. And they came in time. We were kind of worried. We've been working on this literally for a year. We started work on this last November. So to see it all come together is great. Yeah. People can pick these up in the Commons. It's free to anybody at Morrison Heights that wants to read it. But if you think, I want to give one to my kids who are living in Georgia or to my grandkids or something, we're charging $5 for those ones because we want to give them away to Morrison Heights people for sure. And we're happy for you to buy them for other people, but we don't have enough to just give out 15 to every person. So, also, there's a large print version of that. So if the print is too small, you can just let us know and we'll email you or print for you a large print version of it. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, that's the devotion guide. Let's get to the fun part. Tell us about the family box.
All right. So the family box is intended to go, of course, along with the devotional guide and to help facilitate just one-on-one time within families, and as you're talking about what you've read that week or what you're going to read in the week to come, just having time to sit down and do a little craft together. At the end of the month, at the end of Advent season, you will have a nativity that you'll write 2022 on, Let Earth Receive Her King, and you'll have it for years to come to look back on. That's one of my favorite things. Whenever we're pulling out Christmas decorations, to look back on the different decorations that we've accumulated throughout the years, whether it was whenever me or Evan were growing up in our respective households, or just that we've accumulated through the years that we have been a family ourselves. So that's what this is intended to do. It's intended to not only give you really sweet times with your family now, but also bring up those memories in years to come. Hey, remember whenever we read through these certain passages? Remember that first year we did Advent at church? We all did it together. Wasn't that really neat? And so just an avenue to bring up those type conversations and allow the Lord just to continue to work in your heart, not only during Advent season, but also as you look back on it. So, all that to say, big reveal. So whenever you get a box, and these are $10, we'll have them in the Commons. So whenever you get a box, all of this comes in the box that I'm about to show you. So we'll open it up like this. And on the top, and again, first of all, I do want to say this. All this was designed, all the design was done by Tom Rowden, and it's fantastic. It's one thing to have it like the ideas in my head, but to see how just fantastic it looks was all his doing. So
not only
props to
did
that.
he design the box and the insert, he cut the cityscape boards.
Yes.
Is that right?
And the manger. And the little manger.
And apparently he even sanded them. They're sanded too. Good job.
And the little manger that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Tom made the mangers also.
He did. So
Good job, Tom.
Yes. So you'll open up the box, and the first thing you'll see are the instructions. This takes you week by week of what we're about to do. So if you forget all of this, it's okay because you'll have it on a piece of paper. And then on the back, you'll see a picture of this one that we have done. Now yours does not have to look like this. That is what I want to emphasize, and that this is specific to you and your family. It does not have to look like mine. I am no artist or standard setter by any shape of the imagination. So this is just an example of what it would look like to give you some idea as far as kind of what you're moving towards, but it doesn't have to look like that. So here's your instructions. The second thing, I'm going to put this up here. The second thing that you'll see on the very top are these countdown cards. And I love these because what you'll do, and each of the bags has this little like resealable top, so you can put stuff back in it if you need to and reseal it. But these are countdown cards with a verse from each day on the back. So day 1, it's from Isaiah 11:10. That is what your Advent reading will be that day. And it'll go over this verse. And so what you'll do, let me make sure these are right side. What you'll do is you'll take the string that's in the bag, and
I'll be the mantle.
You'll be the mantle, yes. You can put it anywhere in your house, on your mantle, in your kitchen, whatever you want to do. If you have a kitchen that has like, the cabinets with like the space on the top, you can put them at the top of the cabinets, however you want to do it. So you hang up a string, and then you take the little clothespins, and then you just...
You want to start on the left, right?
Yes. You hang them. Well, it works better if... Yeah. There we go. You hang them just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 35. And then each day, you take them, and you turn them over, and you look at the verse for that day.
So hang them all at first.
Yes.
Turn them over one by one.
Right. So it's like your countdown to Christmas. And then even beyond Christmas.
Now, I prefer on an Advent countdown to have a piece of candy included. Can I tape candy to the back of it?
We just got through Halloween. So if you need to take all that Halloween candy that you're done eating, or that you're done with your kids eating, you can automatically, like magically, hey, it becomes an Advent calendar.
Don't use the gummy eyeballs.
that won't work. Right. and if it's good chocolate, it might not last until Christmas before it's eaten. But yes, you can put candy on it too. So that is the countdown cards.
So that's daily, and
that's daily. Yes.
And countdown is kind of misleading. It doesn't count down to Christmas. It counts up to 6 days after Christmas.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
But as our church goes through this together, each day is tracked by the numbers. And so what day will Christmas be on that count up? Day 28?
Yes. So yes, I think so.
Sure.
28. So that's you're counting, you're walking through the Advent season. I guess that might be a different way to put it. But it gives you a visual each day that you can say, hey, we did this today, or we read this passage, we read this Advent devotional, this is the verse, this was the key verse, and it kind of gives you a day-by-day thing to talk about it.
It's going to look beautiful. Really a great design.
Great, yeah. And nice decor. So the first week, you'll hang this up, hang the countdown cards up, and then everything else is week by week. So it's intended to be like that. Now, let me just say this. Sometimes we get really busy and we intend to do something week by week or either day by day throughout Advent season. And then we hit like December 20th and we're like, we haven't done anything because we've been going to all the different events and all the different activities and we haven't even started. And that's okay. That is perfectly okay. So I'm going to take the stress out right now in that if you don't get started immediately or if you, are not able to keep up day by day, there is no stress involved. You can start on whenever day you can start and it will be totally fine. Because none of these things take a long time, and that was really intentional because the goal is not like the actual thing that you're doing. The goal is to create the conversations, create the experience, and things like that. So we didn't want something that had tons of instructions and that was very tedious because all your focus will be on that. We wanted something that was very simple, in all practicality can be done pretty quickly, but it gives you the ability to focus on who you're doing it with, just like I said, the conversation that goes along with it. So if you are not able to do these weekly like they're intended to be, you could do them 2 or 3 at a time if you needed to. Or, if like all of your grandkids are coming over for Christmas, then you can sit down with them when they get there and do it all at one time. Just a lot of different ways that you can do it. That's really the heart behind it, is whatever way fits your family and allows you to just have the conversations, really, and just talk about Advent, talk about the coming of Christ, talk about what the Lord's doing in your life, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, this is week 1. Each bag has a number on it that coincides with the week. So this is the first week, week 1.
So November 27th is probably the day most people will open up bag number 1.
Yes, exactly. And that's where the instructions are. Week 1, bag 1, and it tells you everything to do on there. So week 1 is hope. In the Advent book, the emphasis is on hope that week. And so the first week, we are going to be painting Mary and Joseph. Sorry for the crinkly sounds. We're going to be painting Mary and Joseph. So these are the things that you're going to have in your bag on the first week. You're going to have the 2, I'm going to set this. Can you hold that? Yeah. You have the 2 little wooden people. You have 4 paints, and then you have some paintbrushes. The only thing that you need to keep week in and week out are the paintbrushes, because you're going to use those every week. Everything else, like these paints, you'll see some other supplies, these can be thrown away when you're done with them. On the instructions, it has, if there's anything to save, like this week it says save your paintbrushes. You'll see it on there, but if it doesn't mention it, you won't use it again. And so you can throw it away. That's why everything is disposable also. So what you're going to do is, like I said, this is Mary and Joseph. We're talking about hope. And so some of the conversations that you can talk about or that you'll have is, Mary and Joseph were both informed by an angel that they were carrying God's child, that they were part of God's ultimate plan for salvation. And so the hope that they had to look forward to in the coming of this child. And so, again, those are not conversations that you can have a different conversation starter, but that was kind of the mindset between starting with Mary and Joseph in these weeks, talking about hope. So this is what I'm doing. I'm taking a little wooden character. I'm going to do Mary. These are different colors than the example that we gave you, but you can just use your creativity. So I'm doing Mary in pink and...
I'm doing Joseph.
Oh, yes, you do Joseph. There you go. I'll give you the darker colors. And so I'm doing Mary in pink and turquoise. Tim's going to do Joseph in green and blue. And so we're doing just like a little like a little tunic color. And then, you know what? You might need some water because we're going to have to rinse these paintbrushes out.
Good point.
I'll just mix it. And then I'm going to make her like covering. So, most biblical characters have like a tunic And then they have kind of like a covering like this. How's yours?
Looks kind of like a Seattle Seahawks fan.
Well, maybe a family is that. There you go. And then if you wanted to do, so see how that came out? You just do like one color as their tunic and the other one as like their overcoat. If you want to do their head covering, you can. Kind of how I did it was you just take kind of the sides and you go over like that. And then you create a little head covering, and then you finish painting their head.
Very nice.
Or if you don't want Joseph to have a head covering, he doesn't have to have one. But either way.
Are there any happy little trees involved? Is there a need for me to paint a happy little
We're
tree?
gonna
I've got
have
a
a
lot of
happy
training
little.
in
We're gonna
there.
have a happy little sheep in a little bit.
Now that's.
Oh, we're gonna have a
exciting.
happy little star in Bethlehem. Okay, so this is Mary. This is my Mary. How's your Joseph coming?
It's a work of art. How about that?
Yes, fantastic. See, fantastic. You know what? We could. You have a box down there. If we want to open those and get those paintbrushes out, we can do that.
Steal some more brushes.
And then that way, yeah, we won't have to. We can. That'll work that way. All right. So here is Joseph and Mary, and that was week 1. So you see, it's very straightforward, but it was fun to do all together.
As I demonstrated, no skill required. More brushes.
Awesome. There we go.
How about we do the city, because that looks to me like the part that requires the most artistic talent, and the sheep, because that looks like the most fun.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay. So week 2, you're gonna go. Whoops. You're gonna go into week 2. So you'll need the block of wood. That's gonna be unpainted, just a block of wood, and then you'll have the number 2 bag with the paints in it. And again, all you gotta do is save your paintbrushes from week 1, and then you are set. So we're gonna throw these away. Another tip to remember, if for some reason you lose something or you need more paint, as you notice, we didn't use much paint, to cover these little bitty wooden people. But if you need more paint, or if you need more of something, we'll have more of all the supplies at the welcome desk throughout the season of Advent. So just come to the welcome desk and say, hey, I lost one of my people, or I need more, or whatever. And we'll have it for you there.
You thought of everything. Good job.
Thanks.
I happen to really like the colors for the background block.
Oh, it sounds
The
like an Iowa
background black.
fan.
That's right. If you're a Southern Miss fan, you'd like them too. Or the Saints, but yes. Okay, so we're gonna paint Bethlehem. So Bethlehem, the week for Bethlehem is. Let me set that there so I don't get my. Week for Bethlehem is faith and anticipation. So a lot of the verses and the passages that we're talking about this week is looking forward. So as Mary and Joseph were moving towards Bethlehem, even the verses that are prophesied about Bethlehem, a lot of anticipation, expectation about what is going to come out of Bethlehem, things like that. That is why we chose this week to attach it to Bethlehem. So those are going to be the things that you're going to be reading about. And then this week, you will paint the background of Bethlehem. So you see, it's just a very simple cityscape type look. If you want to do it more involved, however you want to do it, it's up to you. But I'm just going to do straight rectangles that go up and look just basically like a city. If you see like that, I'm just doing like little tops of buildings like that. So we did give you more paint this week, more black paint especially because this is what you'll paint the most of pretty much of any of the weeks. But like I said, I'm just doing a simple cityscape. And, you know, think
I'm going
about-
to start on the sheep while you're painting
Okay,
the city.
that's a great idea. The sheep is in week 3. Yeah.
So I got white paint,
Yep. And
block,
a block. Yep.
a marker,
Mhm.
glue, and cotton.
That's right.
Oh, that's the sheep.
Yep.
They get back.
So you'll see. So these are just the outline that I did. You know, first glance, it doesn't look that much like a city, but then as I fill it in, it's going to look more and more, like I said, just like a cityscape. And then you have a carpet cleaner to come in and clean up the paint that you spill on the carpet.
I was close. I almost got it on my shoes.
You know, whenever we had this whole system, whenever we were filling the paints of these little things, we had a whole system that we had these little squirt bottles and we were filling the paint and everything. And we made a lot of these things
Yeah, you did.
because there's 10 in every box and we're making 200 boxes. So
You made 2,000 little buckets of paint.
Yes. And we've only, so far, we have about 500 more to do because we still have to do the last 50. But so far, knock on wood, so far we've only dropped one and made a huge mess. But it was one black one, and it made a big mess. But Mr. James was great and helped us clean it up. But I consider that a success that we only dropped one. But it was really important, you know, again, for us to provide something that was easy for families to use. You could throw them away whenever you're done, and everything. So it was well worth the effort, and it was fun because it was a group of us that all got together to do it. So you see my cityscape. So that was really easy. You just do an outline, and then you fill it in with black. I have plenty of black left over, so you should be totally fine with that. So that is our Bethlehem cityscape. And then, I'll have to clean that one up too. And then it's really important that we don't forget the star. So you're going to take the yellow paint. I'm using the little paintbrush, but you can do it however you want, and make stars. And I just do an X with the 2 lines in the middle of it to make my stars. You know, if you have a family with multiple children, maybe each child can do a week, or they can take turns. Or if you need to buy multiple boxes, of course you're welcome to do that too. So there's my Bethlehem cityscape with my stars in the back, because the stars will come up, of course, in the Advent story when we talk about the shepherds and the angels and everything. So it's important you have your stars in the back of Bethlehem. So this is week 2. And I'll add that to our nativity. Tim is working on week 3.
Good job on
with
the city.
the
That was not too
sheep.
hard.
Yeah. See?
All right, so I
There you
painted
go.
the front and the back of the sheep, and I'm going to glue cotton to the top and sides. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to draw a face on the front.
Yep.
So-
That's exactly right.
I didn't put any paint on the bottom just because I'm going to set it down while it's still wet, and hopefully I won't get it too dirty up here.
Every bag has the little glue thing. This is another thing that you'll keep. You'll use the glue again on week 5, but you'll have plenty of glue. It won't be a problem.
All right. One side of the sheep has wool, top has wool, other side has wool.
Yeah.
It could also be George Washington.
Good.
All right. Now I got to look at the other sheep to remember how to draw the face on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like a rounded triangle.
It's kind of like a Mickey Mouse, but the ears are on like the sides and not the top.
All right, get ready for a work
However
of
you
art.
want to describe it.
Here we go.
Where's the, well, I won't interrupt you while you're focusing on that.
Mine looks kind of like. You ever draw an alien head?
I don't normally
Mine
draw.
looks kind of like ET. And I should have let the white paint dry. There's a good tip for you. Let the white paint dry, because it's getting kind of hard to fill in the black with wet paint underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm an overcomer. About to get it done.
If you had black paint left over, so this is week 3. Week 2, you have black paint for the cityscape. If you have black paint left over, which you will, and you want to use the black paint for the face of the sheep, then you definitely can if you want to keep that black paint. We just provided Sharpies in case you wanted to draw it, but if you want to use paint, of course you can do that.
How's that?
That's not so bad. Yeah, that's
All
good.
right, there's our sheep.
There's your sheep.
I'm sticking to the glue. I got wool all over.
I'll hold it and you. I was like, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, if you want to hand me the rest of the pegs for, there we go. Yeah, so this is week 3. So week 3, you will have the shepherds that go with the sheep. And so you will talk about how the shepherds saw the stars and how they were anticipating the Savior as well. You'll have 2 kind of browns. Excuse me. You'll have 2 kind of browns. You'll see these shepherds have a light brown undercoat, like a tunic, and then a dark brown coat and head covering. That's why we gave you 2 browns. However you want to do it is totally fine. It's the same idea as Mary and Joseph. You just do the undercoat as the tunic first, and then you just paint around it with the darker colors for the jacket and the head covering. So that's what you'll have for week 3. Those are our shepherds. I'm going to add that in there. Week 4 are the angels.
It even comes with a highlighter.
And so the highlighter is important because they have to have halos. And so
can you see the halos right here? Very faint halo.
yes.
But it's there.
It's there. That's right. So if you want to do, you already have white.
Yeah.
So you can just use your white paintbrush. I'll do a white one. You'll have 3 angels, and then another white thing of paint, and then, like Tim said, a highlighter. And so these angels aren't going to have the jacket type head covering like Mary and Joseph and the shepherds did, because they're angels, not like biblical people. And so, well, you know what I mean. They are biblical people, but like the covering, the clothes of
I
biblical
don't know.
people.
Do angels count as people? I mean, if they have names, it seems like they ought to count as people if they got a name.
They are people.
Michael.
Yes. Yes.
They're
they
not
are
humans, obviously.
people. No, that's right.
But God is not human, yet he's a person.
That's true.
I don't know.
See, these are good conversations you have when you're painting your nativity. This is
Well,
even more reason.
When your kid asks
do
that,
this.
just say, well,
Yes.
Tim Peabody didn't know the answer to that. Are angels people? Somebody's going to tell me after this episode.
But angels don't wear the biblical clothes. We do know that part because they're angels and they have heavenly clothing. So that's why they're white and they don't have the head coverings like the shepherds.
Somebody's also going to correct me on, I said God is not human. I'll save you the trouble. Jesus clearly was human, and Jesus is God.
That's right.
So I observed your technicality there, and I agree with you.
Yes. Yes. But this, I mean, it really is like this is the perfect example. This is like, you know, all of this like really in real life form. Because when you're doing this around the table with your family or your friends or whatever, you have these conversations, and that's what's so beautiful about this season, or any time really, is anytime you're talking about the Lord, it's a good time. See, okay, so here are the two of the angels. You paint the third one.
Man.
Because
Getting
you
a
have
promotion.
You did so well with the first one.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it.
So after you paint the angels, highlighter, You can hold it at the bottom. And then you just draw a circle around the head like that to make the halo. Again, you have yellow paint from week 2 and a little bitty paintbrush. If you want to paint this on, feel free to do that. But you also have a highlighter if you want to do it a little faster. So, there you go. You see it? The little angel with a little halo on him. There you go. See, and this is a good example. These are not perfect, but see this angel halo, he got dropped into another thing of paint, so he has a little bit of blue paint on him. But that's okay. That's just part of the story.
We figured he accidentally headbutted Mary.
He could. He could have accidentally headbutted her.
So I can imagine a situation where somebody has their child working on this and the child decides, I want to start over. Do you think water will get the paint off for the most part?
If it's not totally dry, I'm not sure if it's dry though, because it's acrylic paint, and so it's not washable paint. That's a good idea. I'm glad you brought that up though. If you do have like things that you don't want to get paint on, or if your kids are wearing clothes that
Tom's
you don't
thinking
want,
about our table.
yeah, you might want to, use a covering for your table, or give your kids an apron, or just put on clothes that you don't. It doesn't matter. If you do get paint on you, then if you immediately put water on it, it will come out. I actually did that because I got some paint on me when we were filling the buckets. But if you leave it on there and it dries, then it's going to be hard because, like I said, it's not washable.
But just let your piece dry and paint over it.
Yeah,
Genius.
that's a good idea. See?
You can paint over it.
You can paint over it. That's right. So here are your angels. Oh, I didn't add his halo, but here you go. Here are your angels for week 4.
Right.
Ta-da!
Well,
So,
why don't we
last one. Go ahead.
put together the manger
Yes.
itself? Because that's a little bit tricky. I bet it's a method nobody here has done before.
So all we have left, so what you'll do is you have brown in the week 5, which of course is focused, all of this is focused on Christ, but week 5 is all about baby Jesus, and both, like Tim had said before, the anticipation, I just noticed you couldn't do that, the anticipation of Christ coming the first time, and then also the anticipation of his return. And so this week is all about Jesus. So
This piece will be put together on Christmas Day, right? If
Yes.
people follow the schedule.
That's right. On Christmas Day, the 5th week. Here, this is your manger. And here's your brown paint that you can paint it. And then after, it does need to dry, of course, before you put anything in it, because everything will get paint on it if you don't. But let it dry, and then what you'll do, so this is your swaddling clothes. And what you'll do is you'll just roll up your swaddling clothes kind of loosely, like that. Not tight, but kind of loosely like that. I mean, technically, if you want to get like your pinky, put your pinky in it and leave that much space, you can glue it. In the instructions, it says to glue it down. If you would like, you just put a little bit of glue at the end and roll it up. So you have, at the end, you just have like a little rolled up thing of swaddling clothes. And then you put that in the manger. And then we just have a little sphere that's going to be the little baby's head. And so you put glue on it. And then put it in the bottom, or on the side of the swaddling clothes. And it gives you a little baby. Let me move Mary and Joseph so you can see it. These are the things that are likely to get lost because they're small. So if you do lose these, just let us know. We'll give you some extra ones. Do take note that the sphere is really small. So if you have babies that put things in their mouth in your house, you want to keep it out of reach or keep it in the bag. But then once you glue it, once the glue dries, that's why we had you actually glue it and put it in the swaddling clothes, because once it's glued, it'll be part of the swaddling clothes and it won't be as small. If you If that's not a concern of yours, then you can leave it separate like we have in this one. So when you pack it, of course, it'll be separate. But that's week 5, and that's the manger with baby Jesus. So let's see, where did our here's our Bethlehem. So the finished product pretty much is, oops, let me scoot that one up, is this. There you go. And see,
Very nice.
it's very nice. That's right. So you can do this, like I said, it's intended to do week by week. Spend some time once a week with your family or your friends or however you want to do it with your children. And y'all just sit down and work through it together. You can't mess it up. There's, we have proven that it's really just about the conversation and the having fun and just spending time together, creating something that forever you're going to look back and think about your time together during this Advent season. So
Good job,
just
Melanie.
enjoy, have fun. That's like
Yep.
the biggest goal.
Thank you.
And talk about Jesus.
When people pick this up, I want them to know this isn't something that we ordered on Etsy. This isn't something that
No.
we found the idea online and copied it. We made this. Morrison Heights developed this year, and it's awesome. So good job. It's something that we can all enjoy doing with our families, and don't know how we did it for $10 a box, but good job on that. And can't wait to see what God does with it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Me too.
That's
Thanks.
the end of our infomercial today, and the end of our painting lesson.
Next week on Crafting with Melanie.
That's right.
All right, we are going to end there. Thank you so much for watching this episode. This is
Yes.
Morrison Heights Family Connect. We love our family.